Happy almost holiday, guys. It is that time of year again, and we are coming at you with some festive recipes, some of my favorite. Today we're gonna be making a pumpkin cheesecake loaf. This is decadent, it's delicious. It's gonna win all your non-keto family and friends over. I'm gonna show you exactly how to make it so you can make it for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's for this holiday season. The first thing we're gonna do is make the cheesecake layer, and this is gonna be in the middle of the loaf. So right here, we have 8 ounces of cream cheese, room temperature, so it is ready to mix. To this, we're gonna be adding 1/4 cup full fat sour cream to give it a little twang. And that is 60 grams. We're also gonna be adding 1/4 cup of erythritol. And to this, we're also gonna add 10 drops of liquid stevia. So if you are new to keto or you don't have any sweeteners at home, the two we use most often and we recommend are stevia and granular erythritol. That'll get you as far as you need to get when it comes to making desserts at home. And then the last thing we're gonna do is add in an egg. Now we're gonna give it a mix with a hand mixer. Okay, so that looks perfect. Now we're just gonna set this aside and we are gonna make our pumpkin pie loaf part. Also, at this point, if you haven't preheated your oven, you wanna get that going to 325 degrees. So to our second large mixing bowl, we're gonna be adding 2/3 cup of butter. You can also do coconut oil, that will work just as good. And we are gonna melt this down in the microwave. All right, we're back and the butter is melted, it is good to go. So let's start adding our ingredients. So we're gonna be adding 1/2 cup of erythritol, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're also gonna add some stevia to offset the erythritol, about 15 to 20 drops. Then we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 large teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. When it comes to using sweeteners in our recipes, we like to use 1/2 erythritol and 1/2 stevia. Sometimes erythritol in bulk can really cause digestive issues, especially if you're feeding non-keto family and friends. So using stevia will mitigate any of that digestive issues that can occur. And also just, it makes it sweet, but you're not using all of that granular erythritol. And then also, a lot of people do talk about how stevia can have a bitter aftertaste, and that can happen in bulk, which is why you also want to mix it with some erythritol. So if you use all stevia, then you are going to get some bitter aftertaste. We like to mix both. We're going to give this a quick mix. So now I'm gonna add in 1 cup of pumpkin puree. And don't get it confused with pumpkin pie filling. That would be a delicious mistake, but also very detrimental to the keto diet. So this is what we have here. It should say 100% pure pumpkin. And I'll give you the stats. 1/2 cup is 10 total carbs and 3 fiber. So that's what you're looking for when you're buying your pumpkin puree. And then we're also gonna add in 1 egg and give this a mix. And that came together perfectly. You're not gonna wanna have any of that separation from the butter, from the fat and the pumpkin puree. And as you can see, we don't have that going on. So mix until it's perfectly uniform in consistency. And now we're gonna add 1/3 cup coconut flour and 3/4 cup almond flour. Using 2 different types of flours can create like a more moist consistency because coconut flour is super dry and then almond flour you'll need a lot of. So mixing both really gives you a good loaf consistency. We're just gonna give this one more mix. So for this loaf, I'm gonna use a 9x5 loaf pan. I know a lot of people have 8x4s at home and that'll probably work. So we're just gonna grease this with some coconut oil spray. You can also line it with parchment paper. And now I'm going to pour some of my pumpkin loaf batter into the bottom. We're gonna reserve about 1 cup for the top layer. And you can see that the batter is really firm and sturdy, so it'll support that cream cheese cheesecake layer. Okay, we'll leave that much. Just spread it out on the bottom. And now we're gonna dollop on our cheesecake mixture. So that's still looking good. It's pretty thick too. It is like a thick cheesecake. And this is a lot. And then we're just gonna scoop the rest of our batter right on top. So you can also make it more pretty by doing swirls and mixing it all together, but we're gonna just get it to the edge as close as possible. All right, so this is looking beautiful. We're gonna get this in the oven. It's gonna bake for a long time because this is a pretty big loaf, around 65 to 70 minutes, and we'll check on it and then we'll be back soon to try it. All right, guys, we are back and this has cooled. It's out of the oven and it's looking a little burnt, but that's okay because it's gonna taste delicious. And if you're wondering about my change in clothes, this had to cool for quite a long time, so I had time to go to the gym in between. I allowed it to cool for a half an hour in the loaf pan, and then after that half an hour, I flipped it over and pulled it out onto this beautiful tray and let it cool for another hour and a half. So you definitely want the cheesecake part to set. Oh, that feels good. Oh yeah. Doesn't that look good? That's what you want to show your friends. That's rich, that's delicious. It's very, very moist, which I'm personally a fan of. So the cheesecake layer is like nice and thick, and then this is nice and moist. So they contrast each other really well. You're definitely gonna want to make this at home. It's perfect for the fall time. It's perfect to serve to your friends. And then linked in the description below is the recipe, exactly step-by-step how to make it. And this is a pretty lengthy one, so you wanna check that out. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.